Remember Jaden Newman, the high school phenom everyone thought was bound for WNBA greatness? Well, her journey took a shocking twist. Today, we're diving deep into the highs, the lows, and the untold struggles that have defined her career. You might be wondering, how did one of basketball's brightest young stars end up here? Back in the 2010s, viral basketball videos were everywhere. But few players captured attention like Jaden Newman. At just 9 years old, she was one of the youngest recruits in basketball, dominating high school varsity players by third grade.
When I found out I was going to play varsity in third grade, I was scared. But after that, I got used to it, as in it was easy for me after.
She once said. She started racking up points, breaking records, and becoming an internet sensation almost overnight. But as the spotlight grew, so did the expectations. Get ready for the true story behind Jaden's rise and her unexpected fall. Imagine this. It's 2012, and an 8-year-old girl is dribbling circles around the high school players. That's Jaden, already starting her varsity basketball career, while most kids her age are learning multiplication tables. Jaden wasn't your typical third grader. She was a basketball prodigy shaped by her father, Jamie Newman. Jamie, a former high school player himself, had big dreams for both Jaden and her brother Julian. He believed he could make them future NBA and WNBA stars. By 3 years old, Jaden was dribbling and shooting on a lowered hoop in their backyard. "I like it because, my whole family played it, so I guess I like it too," she said. And soon enough, social media took notice. Highlight reels of young Jaden dominating high school players flooded platforms. A 10-year-old girl averaging 30 points per game against teenagers? People couldn't get enough. Her crossovers, no-look passes, and deep shots were mesmerizing. This wasn't just local fame. Jaden had reached national stardom. Her fame kept growing. She appeared on Fox Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, 9-year-old basketball phenom Jaden Newman.
In the Queen Latifah show, showing off her moves and impressing audiences. By 10, she was even featured in an Under Armour commercial alongside NBA superstar Steph Curry. Just imagine, she's in 5th grade, sharing the screen with one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. For most kids, this would be a dream come true. But for Jaden, it was only the beginning. People often said, "It's funny. All the girls look at her like, oh, she's only 9, 10 years old." But then she goes out there and makes a fool out of them. And they weren't wrong. She was a girl playing against boys and dominating. It was a slam dunk for her brand. But it also raised a big question. Could she keep this up as she got older? By 8th grade, Jaden was averaging a mind-blowing 45 points per game. Let that sink in. 45 points. Her scoring outbursts were legendary, sparking curiosity from fans and critics alike. How high could her ceiling go? At just 13, Jaden set a national record with 70 points in a single game against high school seniors. Her shooting? Even Steph Curry might have taken a few notes. She could sink shots from anywhere on the court, and she thrived in clutch moments. She had that rare ability to take over a game completely. Colleges started taking notice too. By 4th grade, the University of Miami had already shown interest in her. Yes, you heard that right. She was 9 years old. For years, it seemed like the sky was the limit for Jaden Newman. But with fame came criticism. Some said her success was due to weaker competition and her father's relentless promotion. They argued that playing local teams was one thing, but competing on a national level was another challenge entirely. In 2019, Jamie Newman took things further by founding Prodigy Prep, a basketball-focused school inspired by the IMG Academy. With Julian and Jaden as its stars, Prodigy Prep became a training powerhouse. This wasn't your typical high school. It combined academics with intense basketball training. The Newmans were now the poster family of Prodigy Prep, but the weight of expectations continued to grow. At Prodigy Prep, Jaden's achievements only climbed higher. She shattered the Max Preps record for most career three-pointers with an incredible 852 shots. For perspective, that's more than many NBA players manage in their careers. She also set records for most threes in a season and a game. But there was a downside to all this. Jaden's early peak would later become her greatest obstacle. The gap between her and her competition started to close. Jaden's 5'2" height, an obvious disadvantage, became more pronounced. As her college competition intensified, her scoring dropped, and she struggled to adapt to a team-oriented style. She was used to having the ball in her hands constantly. Now she needed to learn to create opportunities for others, a challenge for someone who had spent years as the go-to scorer. Then the family turned to another way to stay in the spotlight. Hello Newmans, a reality show produced by Overtime. The promo boasted, "Just Jaden, what up? She's the best woman baller in the world."
Sister Jaden.
What up?
She's the best woman baller in the world.
I'm just glad I didn't have to play against Jaden Newman.
Our life is crazy, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
This is Hello Newman.
The show gave viewers a front-row seat to the Newmans' lives, showing intense training sessions, family arguments, and the pressures of fame. However, on Hello Newmans also marked a shift in focus, from Jaden's basketball dreams to the family's entertainment potential. This move raised eyebrows. Some in the basketball community questioned whether the pursuit of fame was overtaking their pursuit of athletic success. Supporters saw it as a smart move, but critics argued it distracted from Jaden's development as a player. Despite the detours, Jaden did make it to college basketball. She committed to play at Cal State LA, a Division II school, not the Division I powerhouse she'd once dreamed of. This turn left many asking, what happened to her WNBA dreams? What about being the first woman in the NBA?
The work that I will take to get there is everything, because you gotta work hard if you wanna be the best and if you wanna be the first girl to go to the NBA.
The reality was harsh. Her high school dominance didn't fully translate to the competitive world of college basketball. Her last 2 years in high school saw a major drop in her scoring, down to 10 points per game from the 45 she once averaged. Her journey to Cal State LA wasn't the fairy tale ending many had envisioned, but it was still a testament to her hard work. And then, in a shocking twist, Jaden made headlines for reasons unrelated to basketball. In September, leaked private videos of her surfaced on Twitter. The incident sparked widespread discussions, and for the first time, the Newman family went silent. It was a drastic shift from the once tightly knit public image they'd cultivated. This moment revealed a darker side to internet fame. Jaden, who'd been in the public eye since elementary school, now faced a very adult issue, sparking debates around privacy, consent, and social media's impact on young stars. In the end, Jaden Newman's story is a cautionary tale, a look into the pressures of early fame and the unique challenges faced by young athletes. Her journey teaches us that early success doesn't guarantee a smooth path to stardom. For young athletes, it's crucial to develop a balanced skill set and cultivate interests outside their sport. At just 20, Jaden's future remains uncertain. Will she pursue basketball, grow her social media, or take an entirely new path? With her name recognition and audience, she could build a career as a content creator, perhaps in fitness or sports training. Or maybe she'll use her experiences to advocate for young athletes, sharing her insights into the pressures of fame. Whatever she chooses, Jaden's journey offers a powerful message about how we treat young athletes, the role of social media, and the weight of early expectations. It's easy to remember the viral videos, but behind every highlight reel is a complex story. So what's next for Jaden? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, her story, with all its highs and lows, will continue to captivate and spark debate for years to come. Most people think being a sports prodigy is a fast track to fame and fortune. But what if everything you've heard about prodigies actually sets them up to fail? Jaden Newman was groomed for greatness from the age of 3, becoming a basketball legend before she even hit high school. Yet instead of landing in the WNBA, her path spiraled into a world of fame and controversy, leaving her with more questions than championships. But here's the twist. Jaden's story reveals a hidden reality about child prodigies, one that could change everything we believe about their futures. And this story might just be the ultimate cautionary tale you need to hear. It all started in 2012, in a small gym where a little girl was taking on high school players like she'd been playing for decades. Jaden Newman wasn't just any 8-year-old. She was a basketball prodigy. Her father, Jamie, had big dreams for Jaden and her brother, Julian. He saw raw talent in both of them and was determined to mold them into basketball legends. By age 3, Jaden was already dribbling and shooting, showing signs of a player well beyond her years. Therefore, Jamie knew he had to give Jaden a strong start. He made sure she trained every day, and soon, her skills were getting noticed. By age 10, Jaden was averaging a mind-blowing 30 points per game against high schoolers. Videos of her handling the ball, pulling off crossovers, and sinking long-range shots spread across social media like wildfire. The attention was massive, and suddenly Jaden wasn't just a local star, she was a national sensation. Everyone wanted to see the young girl who could outplay people twice her age. But with that fame came pressure. Jaden's father pushed her harder and harder, convinced she could reach the very top. She starred in an Under Armour commercial with Steph Curry at just 10 years old, a huge accomplishment. Imagine sharing the screen with one of the greatest shooters in the NBA at such a young age. That commercial set the tone for her career, making her one of the youngest and most visible basketball talents in the country. But this was only the beginning, and Jamie had bigger plans for her. As Jaden's reputation grew, her family realized they needed to take things to the next level. Her father, Jamie, decided to create an entire school dedicated to basketball development, Prodigy Prep. This wasn't a regular high school. It was built to make stars. Jamie modeled Prodigy Prep after basketball academies that churn out Division I players and even NBA stars. He wanted Jaden and Julian to be its centerpieces, training every day to achieve their dreams. Jaden thrived in this environment. She trained constantly, and the numbers proved it. She broke records like it was a regular day at practice, sinking 852 three-pointers over her high school career. That's more than some NBA players hit over their entire careers. She scored 184 threes in a season, and even more impressive, she scored 17 in a single game. These numbers were unheard of, and Jaden's star only kept rising. People said she might even be the first woman to play in the NBA, and Jaden herself started to believe it. But with this success came whispers of doubt. Critics wondered if she was really as good as her stats suggested. They pointed out that most of her competition came from smaller high schools, not the elite basketball programs you'd find across the country. Therefore, her growing fan base began to wonder if she would be able to perform at the college level, where the competition would be much tougher. When it was time to step up to college-level basketball, Jaden faced a rude awakening. She committed to Cal State LA, a Division II school. For someone who'd once been a national sensation, playing at a non-Division I school was a big surprise. Fans were shocked. They'd expected her to join a top-tier program, given her high school stats and viral fame. In high school, she'd taken 50 shots per game and was used to being the star player. But at Cal State LA, she was no longer the standout. Playing time was limited, her scoring opportunities shrank, and suddenly she was just one of many talented players. Her 5'2" frame, which hadn't been a major issue in high school, became a disadvantage against taller, more athletic college players. While her ball handling skills were excellent, the lack of height made defense difficult, and her weaknesses started to show. Moreover, college basketball was a completely different game. Jaden had always played with the ball in her hands, leading her team, but now she had to learn to play in a more team-oriented style. She had to learn to move without the ball, set screens, and play a role that was no longer centered around her. This shift was challenging, and it became clear that the path to pro basketball was going to be much harder than anyone had anticipated. During this challenging transition, Jaden's family decided to pivot. If the basketball dream was becoming harder, then perhaps the fame could still be harnessed in a new way. This is when the Newman family launched Hello Newmans, a reality show that showcased the highs and lows of their everyday lives. The show became popular, giving fans a closer look at the family's intense dynamics and the pressure Jamie placed on his kids. But with this shift came new criticism. Some fans felt that the family was abandoning their athletic goals, choosing fame over basketball development. The show highlighted the immense pressure Jaden faced from her father and the challenges of being a young public figure. Episodes showed the struggles, the arguments, and the sacrifices that Jaden and Julian had to make to maintain their fame. This wasn't the typical basketball journey, and people had mixed feelings about it. Some believed the show was a smart way to build a brand, while others thought it was distracting Jaden from developing her game. Therefore, Hello Newmans brought even more attention to the family but shifted focus away from basketball. With this decision, it seemed that the family was trying to secure their future in a world that now revolved as much around fame as it did around basketball. Just as Jaden's basketball career seemed to be slowing down, another unexpected event threw her back into the public eye. In September 2024, leaked private videos of Jaden surfaced online, creating a scandal that had nothing to do with basketball. This incident shocked her fans and sparked an online debate about privacy, consent, and the dark side of fame. People who had once admired Jaden as a young prodigy were now viewing her story from a very different perspective. The reaction to this incident was mixed. While many showed support for Jaden's privacy, others saw it as yet another chapter in the turbulent life of a young star. Surprisingly, her brother Julian and the rest of the family stayed silent about the incident, a stark departure from their usual openness. This silence led to widespread speculation, with fans and critics alike wondering what was happening behind the scenes. Had the family reached a breaking point, or were they trying to protect Jaden from further scrutiny? Therefore, the scandal added a new layer of complexity to Jaden's story. It highlighted the challenges of growing up in the spotlight and raised questions about the impact of fame on young athletes. The silence from her family only added to the mystery, leaving fans to wonder if this was the final chapter in Jaden's basketball journey. Despite all the hype, Jaden's basketball dream didn't play out as expected. Her journey from high school sensation to college player had taken a toll, and her once promising path to pro basketball was fading. By the end of her high school career, she was barely averaging 10 points per game, a far cry from her earlier numbers. Her Division II college experience was a reminder of how tough the transition from local hero to college competitor can be. But even with these setbacks, Jaden had achieved what few athletes could. She'd made it to college basketball, played on a scholarship, and inspired countless young fans. However, as her basketball career seemed to stall, new opportunities arose. With a massive social media following and name recognition, Jaden had options outside of basketball. Therefore, even if the WNBA dream was slipping away, her influence and story remained impactful. Now, at just 20 years old, Jaden is at a crossroads. She could choose to continue pursuing basketball, perhaps as a coach, trainer, or social media personality in the sports world. Alternatively, she might step away from the sport entirely and focus on a career in entertainment or fitness, using her platform to inspire others. Whatever path she chooses, Jaden's story has become a powerful reminder of both the potential and the pitfalls of early fame. Jaden Newman's journey isn't just about basketball. It's a lesson in the price of early fame, the role of family dynamics, and the challenges of growing up in the spotlight. Her story has left us with questions about how we treat young athletes, how fame impacts their future, and what we can learn from her experience. But as she stands on the edge of a new chapter, one thing is clear: Jaden Newman's story isn't over yet. With her influence and the lessons she's learned, she could still make a huge impact, even if it's off the court. Whether she chooses to stay in the public eye or step away, Jaden's story will be remembered as one of the most complex and captivating journeys in youth sports. The next chapter is hers to write. Where it will lead, only time will tell.